My dad died 6 years ago today. The sun is generous with me. It lets itself be a runny egg and knows that this makes me remember my dad sopping a breakfast into his mash of a mouth. I say mash because when he didn't wear his teeth, that weren't really his teeth. His face was softer, and when it needed food, his softer face was more like a baby's in its almost eating right, but really half-messed self. And in the last days, when his memory was a lightning bug, and his trying to remember a long night, he was even more baby in how I had to repeat everything to him, which means for as many seconds as he heard me say, "I love you," he also had an only son who hadn't said "I love you" in he didn't know how long. And if we're looking for other ways to define hell, let's add a son who only knows how to say "I love you" because of his father, who did not remember the "I love you" he taught his son. It is no accident. Nooses, too, are made of loops. Today, of all the days, I want to think of him as barrel-chested and mighty and my first superhero, but he died smaller than he had ever been as a man and not as mighty. And I was 2,184 miles away. And he died without me palming the last of his soul like a card to secretly cheat those around me. And even though he died suddenly, I had been 2,184 miles away from his lightning book memory, because he gave me life where I could be Hollywoodian, 2,184 miles away, and not Africanly because Elmer's by his side where his soul wandered off. I hope heaven lets him remember everything. In 3 days I will say no thank you to a list of nice people, and on purpose not sit in any full table of nice people who love someone at that table and hear forks clink on the good plates and compliments on the macaroni and cheese. And by the way, the people who say the whole macaroni and cheese and not the short way are the most likely people to invite me to hear forks clink and listen to them laugh, and not just because something's funny, but because it feels good to slide window pane drop into drop into drop with everybody else's laughter, because family, and not just Africanly, but family-ly. So I will say no thank you, because I am still not used to my father not being here, and when he was the only person, my God, my dad is not here, my God, yes, he was the only person who called me Don, so nobody else gets to. Ever, I insist. And he would have been a nice person at a table full of nice people, and he would have said, "Don, pass the bread," and I would wait for him, my dad, the baby, to mash his food, and I would raindrop smile across from him. And this is the only poem I've ever shed tears to write, because I give thanks under a runny egg sky today and all the days that I am his son. And thank you that he called me Don, and nobody else can, but the most important part is no thank you, nice people, because I still can't on any day place bread in my mouth without wanting to weep.